But they couldn't see us.
Says you can't actually try coding on this program, but you need.
So I just lost you guys. Oh, there you go.
We're good.
Cool.
Okay, now we can see it.
Hey, do you want? Yeah. Can you guys hear us okay? Hey team. I've lost your volume. Are you still there?
Hi, I'm Chuck Acid, Manager of Training and Quality Assurance. Welcome to Act 5.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anna. Good to see you. Hello, my name is Mara.
Hi, I'm Mira.
Oh, hi, my name is Lex. Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, I'm Brenda.
Hey, I love the t-shirt.
They have that.
So Daniel, do you know what I think it is? I think your mic might be omnidirectional. So if anybody's going to speak, it's best to speak right in front of your mic there.
So we'll get when they come up, we'll get them to come right up.
That's
to the front
awesome.
this.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Big top.
So you go up there and introduce yourself to the team, please.
So my name is Rich Mullins. Daniel and Sandy and the team up there are very good friends of mine. We used to work together last year when I was running Fundraising Initiatives USA. And we had such an exciting time together, and it was great fun running the office out of Maryland. My colleague here is Mike Oakey. Do you want to introduce yourself and say a few words?
Hello, hi guys. Yeah, that's good. My name is Michael, and I've been fundraising for about 9 years now. And I was told by Rich yesterday, you guys need a bit of answers to some questions you've got. So I'm here to answer those questions for you, and if there's anything you need to know, just don't hesitate to ask. All right?
So Mike, just to add to that, Mike is a very humble individual. He's just undersold himself. Mike in the UK is one of the top fundraisers the UK has ever seen. And we just secured Mike from one of the top fundraising agencies a couple of months ago to come and work with P2P. He was so excited about what we've been creating at P2P that he jumped on board quite quickly. So just to give you an idea of what we're doing at P2P and what we've done, I just want to check. Can you hear what both of us are saying? Great. And it's pretty clear, right? Fantastic. So just to give you an overview of what P2P is and what we've been able to create here is our company is founded on a culture first, and then we've built a business. So every single fundraiser, every single one of our 100 fundraisers that we've built up since November last year is part of the P2P culture. You know, and the type of people that we attract into P2P are very charity focused. So they totally love the fact that we go out every single day and they get to earn a living making a difference, which is why that's our strapline. So our strapline for recruitment is that our guys get to earn a living making a difference every day. They get to sleep at night knowing that they've saved lives, knowing that they've changed lives, and knowing that they are change makers. They change the world. And that's what really inspires me. As a leader of P2P in the UK, it really inspires me that we have a culture we are inspiring here, a culture of giving. And the way that we do that is through our training, through the type of people that we attract, through the type of causes that we work for, and just getting everybody from fundraisers to leaders to even people behind the scenes so excited about the campaigns we work for and the work that we do, the difference that we make, that they totally buy into it. So they're not here just to earn some money, they're here to genuinely make a difference. And if you get a chance, this is my little plug, I promise no more. If you get a chance, check out our Facebook page and you'll get a chance to see some of our fundraisers in action and some of the stories that they have about what they do. But this is really about you guys. And I'm so excited that we now have an opportunity to share some stories between us. And I look forward to a time where perhaps we can create a reciprocal agreement where one of you guys or one of your leaders gets a chance to share with our team, some of the things that are working for you. Because I think, everybody around the world has, something that's inherent. Human beings, I believe we have an inherent nature to actually want to do good or want to help. And, if we're so busy in our daily lives going about our work, our two most valuable resources in life are time and money. And most people don't have the time to do stuff, to do what they absolutely love doing. So we just ask them for the next most valuable resource, which is their money. And they can find a way to really help out. So what Mike is going to share with you a little later is how some of the stories or some of the techniques we use to train our team to really help them engage with the prospective donors in such a deep way that when it comes to signing up or when it comes to them agreeing to give a long-term regular donation, there is no other option but yes. So Mike's going to share that with you in a bit, but what we would love to hear from you now, maybe one or two of you guys, is to share a little bit about the pitches or the structure that you work with. So if I can have a couple of volunteers, just come up in front of the mic and do a demonstration, do a presentation. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot too much here, but it would be great to hear what you say and how you engage with people. So who's volunteering? Yeah, grab a pen.
Should we grab a pen? You can use mine if you like.
Well done.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, how are you today?
Great, thank you.
Awesome. I stopped you because I'm with the WWF here on behalf of them, and we're just trying to raise awareness for the effects of global warming and the problems with climate change and pollution. It's actually, the amount of greenhouse gas emissions have actually increased 32% within the past 15 years. And I don't know if you know recently, but we've had a lot of really bad flooding all around, like central Canada and Alberta. We had Calgary flooding, and we also just had really, really bad rain in Toronto. And we're going to be seeing, scientists predict, a lot more of those sort of severe weather problems if we continue at the rate we're going. And the good news is that the environment is very resilient, and it can totally bounce back, but it needs our help. So what I'm here today is to let you guys know of great things that the WWF is doing. And one of the big focuses and concerns is changing climate and making sure that we have a sustainable future. We work directly with governments and industries to create policies that are sustainable and help with the environment, and products that are eco-friendly and give back just as much as they take away from our natural resources. And we also just try to create awareness and generate good, strong, sustainable changes to help this climate change from increasing and getting any worse. So what we're looking for today is to get more support. What we're doing is signing up people, getting information for our monthly donor program. So for as little as 50 cents a day to as much as $1 a day, you can help contribute and get these efforts underway. It's the easiest way to get involved without having to do much. It's completely tax deductible, which is great. And it's just a great thing. It's a great thing to do to help with the environment and nature and all that without having to worry about too much effort or time on your part. So is this something you'd be interested in?
Sure, right, sounds good. Well done.
Thank you.
So, do you know what I'd love to do is, do you mind if because that was so quick, and I'm really impressed with your confidence and how you're able to just come up and deliver it. can I ask that everybody does that so we get a chance to hear a sense of, because you're all training together, so that would give me a sense of your structure across the board. And one thing that I would just like to ask is that as you come up, before you do, I didn't get everybody's name clearly the first time. So when you introduce yourself as if I'm your donor and Mike's your donor, say, hi, I'm Rich. How are you today? And if I can also ask that you just slow your pitches down ever so slightly, because I'm actually writing some notes about some of the cool things that you're picking up and some of the bits of the structure. And I'd really like to give you some constructive feedback on your presentation as well. Is that okay? Great, thank you. Who's next? Are you good at this? So just pick some notes.
Yeah, there was quite a few things I picked up.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
So I'm Esther. How's it going?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Actually, I'm here on behalf of the World Wildlife Fund. You've probably heard of us.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're one of the biggest environmental groups in just Canada with what we're doing here, and one of our big projects right now is in the Arctic. So a great example of the way that ecosystem is changing very fast is that our polar bear populations, unfortunately, are having difficulty swimming to the ice floes each year, and so mothers and cubs that have to go to land raise their children are actually drowning on the way back to the ice floes they received due to global warming. And this is just an example of the way that ecosystem is changing up there, and it's an example of the way our ecosystems are changing around the world. And our big goal is to, first of all, conserve what we have right now with direct conservation work, and second of all, to actually directly fight global warming. And fortunately, we have the size to do that. And so our big project right now that we're starting is called the Living Planet Initiative, and our goal is to get Canada on completely renewable energy by 2050, which is ambitious but possible, efficiently for us, believe, and get 600,000 cars that use gas off the road and replace electric vehicles, and electric car charging ports all over major cities like Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver. And so all of this basically combines to put our country in a place where we aren't emitting so much or hurting nature so much, and we're actually part of the solution to climate change, which we need to be as a country. But the WWF, despite the fact we're a really big organization that can do political lobbying, conservation work, and these huge projects partnering with industry, over 50% of our donations actually come from individuals, so average Canadians. And what we're doing today is asking people if they would be interested in becoming monthly donors. So once a month, you give a small amount to our charity, a small incremental amount, again, that average person could feel comfortable donating, and then become a part of our organization and always know what we're doing and also be part of this solution we're making. And so what I'm hoping is that I can count on your support. Would you be interested?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Do you want to do some reaction handling in a bit?
Yeah.
Give him a hug. Okay. So just a heads up, right? And this is not to put you on the spot or anything, but we're going to start introducing some questions and a little bit of objections, okay? It's not going to be to make your life difficult, but just to kind of get a sense how you respond. Is that okay? Cool. So thank you. Who's next? So Mike, you're going to be pitching.
Hey there, how are you doing today?
I'm good, you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. My name's Amira, and I'm calling on behalf of the WWF. You've heard of us, right?
Yes, vaguely.
Vaguely? Okay, well, perfect, because that's exactly what I'm doing here today. Not only am I trying to inform as many people as possible of what we're doing, but I'm also trying to get some monthly support. A little bit about what the WWF is doing is we're just trying to conserve as many ecosystems as possible, and our biggest project right now is the fresh water, because Canada is home to 20% of the world's fresh drinking water. We really don't want to be like the States, where in Texas they don't even have fresh drinking water. You would agree this is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's perfect. So a little bit of what the WWF is doing as an organization is we're lobbying the government so that the government can put policies in place to protect our fresh drinking water. We're also working with larger corporations so that they could be more eco-friendly in what they're doing. As you can see here, a lot of our total revenue is less than our expenses. And sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It's just normal.
No, I'll keep going. Okay, so that's why I'm speaking to you. The amazing person you are, as you can see, is that 50% of our total revenue comes from our donors. That's for as little as $1 a day, you could help out with such a great organization and you could show the organization the amount of support. Is this something you'd be interested in?
Maybe at a later time. This is not a good time for me. I mean, I just recently changed jobs, so I'm finding it a bit difficult with my finances at the moment.
I completely understand exactly how you're feeling, and I found that a lot of other people feel the same way. But because we have like a couple of choices, it's so valuable. For like, $1 a day isn't possible. We lower it to instead of $30 a month, we could do $25, and if $25 is impossible, we could do 20. Are any of these an option for you?
Go on then. Let's do it.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, the thing is, just being nice to the rich, everything with that. But
Hey guys, how's it going?
I'm good, you?
I'm good, thanks. My name's actually Elena, and I'm here on behalf of WWF. You've definitely heard of us, right?
I've seen you guys on TV, but I don't know much about you. I don't know what you do.
Okay, well that's great. What we are, we're actually a huge non-profit organization, and what we specialize in is nature conservation and really helping the environment. So you've definitely heard a little bit about global warming, right?
Yes, in the news.
Okay, yeah, of course. So yeah, climate change is obviously a really big issue today. You probably, if you live in Canada, which you don't, well, in Canada right now, they're seeing some major flooding in Calgary and Alberta, and I'm sure well, if you lived in Toronto like me, I was actually stranded downtown the other day because of the huge storm. Everyone was really surprised, right? So that's actually not a direct result of climate change, but situations and storms like that are actually going to increase in severity and frequency due to climate change, right? So obviously, that's not really what you want. The good news is the WWF is doing some really great things to try and combat this. We have this really great goal that by 2050, we want to be running on 100% renewable energy, which is obviously a big goal, but even if we were to get half of the way there, that's awesome, right? That's going to do so much. So some of the ways in which we're doing this, we are trying to put 600,000 electric cars on the road. We've been working really closely with governments and Native peoples to do some research because, once you know the land best. One of my favorite things that we're doing, because I'm actually a business student, is that we've been working with some big corporations, most recently Coca-Cola, to kind of oversee their production and make sure that they're doing, they're making their products in ways that are eco-friendly, or at least more eco-friendly. I think that's really great because, nowadays people are really aware and conscious. They want eco-friendly products, so if they know that a company is doing that, they're going to invest in that company, and that's going to help the economy as well. So, everything really is kind of interconnected. Obviously, the WWF is a huge corporation. We're doing all kinds of things. I haven't even scratched the surface, but do you guys have any questions for me?
You've mentioned quite a few about what we do by working with Coca-Cola, if I'm correct. Right.
Yes.
So, how much is that going to impact the work? Do you think it can really save the planet?
Yeah. So obviously Coca-Cola is just an example, right? We're working with all kinds of corporations, and these corporations, they're huge. They're like mega giants, and they really do. I honestly do believe it can have an impact. Yeah, because they're so big.
How can my little gift of 50 cents a day really help if these big corporations they're massive, right?
Yeah, wait, sorry, could you repeat that? The volume wasn't.
So how can my small donation really help, make a difference?
You know what? A lot of people ask that kind of thing. And just, there's kind of this mentality, oh, well, I'm not going to do anything by myself, so why bother, right? But, it's that attitude which kind of contributed to global warming in the first place. We all made our little bit of impact. And so the way I look at it is that, with this small donation, we can all, help to reverse it again. And, nature is resilient. We can come back. And when the community comes together, it really can make a difference. So what I'm here today to do, I'm actually not looking for any cash right now. What we're looking for is just a very small monthly donation that actually starts as low as $1 a day, which is about, $30 a month. So if you think about it, that's actually less than like a cup of coffee. I'm sure you spend more than $1 on other things every day, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure we can count on your support.
Great, well done, thank you.
Thanks.
Is that everybody? Yes.
Hi there, how's it going today, guys?
Good.
Hi.
Awesome. So my name is Staff Manager at WWF, and I wanted to talk to you about the Living Planet program. I'm sure you guys felt the current heat waves blasting through Toronto, right?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
I know, right? No kidding. They have us out here actually wearing all black, so we really, really feel it. So I don't know if you noticed that, but what we noticed that scientists are predicting that all these massive weather events like the floods, droughts, and extreme heat and cold are going to only continue to increase in severity and frequency as we continue to emit like bad gases and greenhouse gases and stuff like that into the atmosphere. Now I'm not here to press or anything like that, but nature is very resilient and can actually turn it around. So that's what we're here to do today. We're promoting the monthly giving program called the Living Planet, where something super, super small, when we all come together, can really go a far, far way. So actually what WWF has done is they're working with industry and actually lobbying government. So they're not against advancement, more so they want to make sure that any advancements we make are sustainable and be environmentally responsible. And to have Canada on the track to be off using renewable energy by the year 2050, which is not really about me, you, or you. It's more so about our children and the planet that we leave for them. And like everybody else I spoke to today, they all agree it's super important and actually needs to be addressed right now. You guys be ready?
Sounds good. So, so how do I help?
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just about to get to that. I like that you're so eager. That's awesome. We knew you guys have great big hearts, and that's actually why I stopped you. So what everybody can do is just jotting down a little bit of information, get you involved in the program for something super, super small, like $1 a day. And I'm sure, just like everybody else, you'd love to get involved, right?
This sounds good. Good. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So is that doctor or sir?
It's doctor.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, guys.
I like
Brilliant. Well
done.
He's good, right?
It's fun. Yeah.
Good. So that's everybody, right?
That was everybody.
Fantastic.
Is there one more?
No, that's good. Great. So what we'd really like to do is, I think, Mike, if you can share, because I tell you what, I have a few thoughts. One is, first of all, thank you so much, because I know how difficult it must be to do a pitch to a computer screen, thinking, are they hearing me? Are they engaged with me? Are those real people behind there? So it must be pretty tough doing that. And I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for your courage. And thank you for just saying it how it is. Whatever came naturally to you, how that was. And I was really impressed with the fact that everybody came up and nobody really hesitated. That's the true fundraiser spirit. Mike and I threw out that we made some notes and some observations about what we thought. What I'm actually thinking is Mike has prepared a session to support you guys. One of the brief around the session, or what we thought we would be able to cover in this mini session, was around closing the donor. So when you get to the end and how you close somebody, I actually have a feeling that a lot of what you're saying, so every aspect of your pitch and your presentation is a build-up right towards the close. And I think if we just delivered a small impact session on the close itself, it would take away from absolutely everything that builds up. So what I wanted Mike to do is give you some real golden nuggets all the way through the presentation that we teach our fundraisers. I know we haven't got much time, but I think each one of you will have specific areas that will really hit home for you, that will work in your pitch. Because I actually don't think every one of you need the end bit. I think some of you actually need the beginning bit. And there's a bit where you actually get to connect with the donor. So for us, and for fundraising, it's very much about how you connect. And I know that our conversation over here has been difficult to really form a true bond and a true connection. But genuinely, if you want to get a valid and a secure and a quality sign-up, Mike, I'm sure you'll agree, you really need to connect with that individual. And the best way to connect with somebody is to also get them speaking. So you've got to find a way to engage with that member of the public and get them feeling part of what you're actually doing today. Rather than being somebody who's a walking, talking leaflet, who's just about to give lots of information and then hope somebody's going to give a regular gift because they're interested in what you've got to say. So it's not about being interested in what you have to say, it's about being involved in what you're doing. So it's not about what you're saying, it's what you're doing and who you are being at that point. So without me laboring it so more, I'm going to allow Mike just to cover his session because we went through this earlier and I think there's some real golden nuggets there. And by the way, if at any point you feel like you're not grabbing anything, please tell us to stop. So either raise your hand and say stop or slow down because we don't understand. And the reason I say that is because with fundraising, language is so important. And you want the donor to hang on to every word that you're saying. So there might be some things in here that Mike says that you can really grab hold of. And if you miss one or two words in what Mike's saying, then you might lose the impact of this mini presentation. So just checking that everybody, raise your hand if you can hear us, first of all.
Great.
Great, yes?
I just quickly wanted to tell you, I don't know if you noticed, they were telling me, and I've noticed when I'm in the field with them, a big hard time they're having is actually just even getting people to stop.
Right, okay, perfect. So how many people, quick question, how many people are you hoping, oh, first of all, how many hours are you out there, you're doing doors, right, or street? Door to door or street?
Yeah, we're on street and they're in field from about 11 till 6.
11 till 6, so it's 5 hours on the streets, or 6 hours, sorry, 6 hours.
7.
And do you take a break?
They do take a break.
How long is that break?
It's anywhere from half an hour for lunch to an hour. So they get 1.5 hour and 2 15 minutes.
Okay, so your core fundraising time is 5 hours, right? Between 11 and 6, 5 core hours. Sorry, 6 core hours.
It's actually 6 hours.
Sorry, so 6 core hours of fundraising. And in that time, how many people do you expect to stop and deliver a presentation to? What's the expectation?
Okay, so the expectation is that they're going to talk to 250, pitch 40, ask 30.
250, 40, 30.
So, hold on, where did it go? Pitch 40, ask 30. Show the iPad text 15 times, do 3 to 5 closes.
How many sign-ups are you expecting every day?
So every day, how many are you expecting to close?
It says 3 to 5, like those are what the law of averages are.
Okay.
But it varies, right?
So currently, what are you, so you guys have been out there for a couple of months, right?
I beg your pardon?
You've been fundraising for a couple of months, 1 month, 2 months?
These guys have been fundraising for about 2 weeks now.
2 weeks. Okay, cool. So I'm guessing the averages aren't sitting around 3s and 5s. You're probably 1s and 2s?
No, definitely not. Closer to 1.
Okay, that's cool. That's perfectly cool. So Mike, just share some feedback about some of our new guys, and that's perfectly normal.
Hi guys. Hello. Right, I was just about to say to you guys to get into comfortable positions. So it's good you guys are already comfortable. Are you comfortable? Yeah? Just give me a thumbs up if you're comfortable. This is frozen. Alright, okay. Right, okay, so first things first, I just want to say that certain ways you feel is normal on the streets if you're new. If you're 2 weeks into the program, you don't have to worry about, you know, how you're feeling, whether you're doing well or whether you're not doing well. You need to get all of that away from you completely if you're new. You got to accept that you're new and you got to accept that you can grow. Do you believe you can grow? Let me see a thumbs up if you believe you can grow. Good. Excellent. Right. So, first things I like to say that I say to my fundraisers is, you've got to see yourself as an expert. Yeah? As an expert in the field. You can't see yourself as a novice because people are speaking to professional fundraisers. So you're going to act the part. You have to act the part until it becomes real. Does that make sense? I know a lot of you know how to act, don't you? Who knows how to act? Anybody? Let me see your hand. You know how to act. Excellent, right. So you're going to have to play the part of an expert until you know exactly what you're doing, because you really don't. Okay? So I'm here to support you and I'm here to guide you. There's a pattern which you need to address when you're on the streets. You can't go on the streets hoping that everyone is like you. They're not like you. You're special. Fundraisers are special. Do you believe you're special, yeah? You're special. Right. Okay. It keeps freezing. Right, so what we're going to do now is, I'm just going to jump into the process. I listened to a lot of pitches earlier on, and one thing that keeps coming out to me is, a lot of you are saying awareness. I understand that you're creating awareness, but you're registering a keyword in the minds of the public that you're just there to talk and then they can walk away. They're not there to give money because you're saying awareness. First thing, remove that word awareness. Because what that does, it tells the person I don't have to give money, so it's okay to listen to the fundraiser and then walk on. Am I making sense? Right, so the first things you do, who is having problems stopping people? Right. The number one rule when you're stopping people is you've got to see the person you're trying to stop as your mate, a friend you've known from way back, a friend that you've not seen in years. If I was your old friend, right, old-time friend, and you saw me on the street, how would you stop me? Can someone demonstrate that? How would you stop me? I'm your old...
Oh my God, man, I haven't seen you in so long, dude. How are you? High five, man.
Beautiful.
Good man. Good man. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to release yourself. You can't be closed in. It's okay to be shy, but guess what? Fundraisers are not shy. The reason why you have that job is because you're not shy. You're amazing. That's why you're doing that job. Right, when you meet people, you have to come up with very, very unique and different lines. I'll give you an example. If you saw someone trying to go on their mobile phones, how would you stop them? Anyone? Anyone? Sorry? Come close. I'm on my mobile phone.
You don't need to text me, I'm right here.
Brilliant. Excellent. Excellent. Right. That is the idea of quirky lines. You have to come up with something unique. And you have to attract their attention because you're not the same as everyone else. Does that make sense? Imagine you're walking past a shop window in the shopping mall and you see a mannequin in the window talking back at you. Would that surprise you? Of course it would, right? So the whole idea is you've got to be different. So don't ask people, can I talk to you? No. Can we have a chat? No. Do you have 1 minute? No. Do you have 5 minutes? No. Don't use those lines. It's long dead. So stop using those lines. You've got to use lines like, oh, where have you been? I've been waiting all day for you. How are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Hello, my name is Michael. I'm working on behalf of WWF. Have you heard of us? Right, that is a way to get people to interact with you. Right, or you see somebody coming past and you say, oh, there you are, sir. You look nice and smart today. So what's the occasion? I'm off to work. Where do you work? My name is Michael. I work for the WWF. So how are you today? You have to always interact with people. Don't try to stop people like you're selling. You have to stop people like you want to make friends. That's what fundraising stopping is about, making friends. Do we get that? Now you want to introduce while you're on the streets. You can't jump into the charity the way a lot of you jump into the charity. You have to, it's a process. Rich mentioned the process. When you stop somebody and you say, my name is Michael and I work for WWF, you have to ask, have they heard about you? Which you guys did, which was excellent. And then when they talk about WWF, you give them room to actually express themselves. It's very important that when you're on the street, you're not trying to load people with information. You're trying to have a dialogue. A dialogue is a two-way conversation. Means you're going to ask a lot of questions. You know, so what do you know about WWF? Hello?
Sorry, we're kind of having a hard time understanding you.
Right, I can't.
You want to talk slower?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's breaking up a bit, maybe.
Hello?
Yeah, we're breaking up. Do you think we could just take like 1 second to stop the conversation and reconnect to see if we get a better connection?
Cool. Let's do that. So we'll cut out and call you back.
Yeah, okay, call me back right away.
Well, he's clear, though. He's clear, but they're not. This works. Very quickly. No, very quickly, there's a lot of things that, you know, there's a lot of things that the awareness thing has to be strong. They can't say, people always think they're just trying to give their information. They have too much info for an introduction.
Yes.
Hiya. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, so I'm just going to get into it because we have little time, okay? Well, I'd like you guys to interact with me, right? So let's try this for starters. Okay, yeah? Can we all do that? All right, can we all? Right, okay. So when I say anything, you go, okay. All right? Okay, good. I like that. Now we're interacting, okay? Right, so the first thing when you're speaking to people on any charity is to understand that you're an expert. Okay? You're an expert and you know what you're talking about. All right? People buy from people that know their stuff. Okay? So you've got to know your stuff. So when you go on the street, you don't go out begging people to sign up. You go out making people understand that it is everyone's responsibility to save the planet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you don't go out making people think that they're doing you a favor by signing up. They're not doing you a favor. They're doing their God-given responsibility by saving the planet. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah.
So when you go out on the street, let me ask you a question, right? If a guy is trying to ask you out on a date, right? You know how you women get sometimes? You get like, excuse me, I can't give you my number. Do you know what I mean? You have to be like that on the street. You have to be bold. Sometimes you will start off very shy, but later on you have to understand you're an expert. People will not buy from you if you're in doubt. Do you believe in WWF? Very well, very much. How much? Good, good. So, the first thing is, you must believe in what you're doing. If you believe in it, then you will get people to believe in it too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you stop people, you have to interact with people. I'll give you an example. Hello guys, hi. My name is Michael. How are you all doing today? You all look so friendly. So what's your name? And you? Oh, nice to meet you all. Right, so I'm not going to waste your time, okay? Because I would love to talk to you all day, but I can't do that because I've got to stop a lot of people. Right, I'm not going to patronize you. I'm here to inspire you. Are you in for a little bit of inspiration today?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Right, I'm going to share with you something absolutely fantastic. I work on behalf of the WWF, and we're the most amazing conservation charity in the whole world. Did you know that? Did you know that? Right. Okay, so that is an introduction. An introduction has to be power-packed. It has to lay emphasis on how amazing the charity is. The reason being, you get people's attention from doing that. You have to make them feel like you're the best in the whole world. Did you guys hear how Rich introduced me earlier on, yeah? Did you? It's fuzzy.
So my introduction to Mike, did you remember my introduction that I gave about Mike?
Okay. Right, okay, let's just get into it very quickly, right? I'm gonna run you through a process. The first thing you do is you introduce yourself, right? This is where you tell the person who you are. My name is Michael, who you work for. I work for WWF, and what do they do? So you give a brief explanation. The facts are too long. You need to make it short, not long-winded. 2 lines will suffice. 2 lines, okay? And, sorry. Right. Right. Make your introduction short, not too long. 2 lines would just be enough. So summarize the work we do into 2 lines. Can all of you do that? Excellent. Right. So the next thing you want to do now is, what are you passionate about? I like pollution. What do you guys like? I like to talk about pollution. What do you guys like to talk about?
Global warming. Yeah.
Global warming. Fantastic. Right. You have to choose one problem that you're passionate about. Okay? Don't try to put everything in one bag. You got to choose one problem that you're passionate about. So if it's pollution, you've got to ask a question. Did you know that? I'll give you an example. Did you know that more than 1 billion people lack access to clean water? That is a problem. You make it short. You don't have to stretch it too far, because you only have an average of 5 minutes with the member of the public, all right? So, did you know that 1.1 billion people have no access to clean water in the world? naturally they're going to engage with you. And they're going to say, no, I didn't, or yes, I did. So if they say to you, no, I didn't, you need to ask them questions. That is a big problem. Would you agree? Yes, it is a big problem. Don't worry. You need to give them a reassurance that that problem is finally going to be resolved by WWF's work. All right? So you need to say to them things like, don't panic. I'm not all about doom and gloom. We have an amazing solution to these problems. And what WWF is doing is X, Y, Z. All right? So you can say things like WWF is encouraging local conservation and environmental awareness. Okay? You must make sure that the solution is in line with the problem. Okay? Don't give a solution. Don't give a solution for global warming to illegal trade, illegal wildlife trade. Don't give a solution for one area of work for another. Does that make sense?
If I can chip in, Mike. So one of the things that I heard a lot of you do was, and we have something called spray and pray. So what happens is our fundraisers, they spray a whole bunch of problems at the donor and solutions, and then they pray that one or two of those will hit home with the donor's conscience. What tends to happen is when you give too much information to a prospective donor is they switch off because their brain can't cope with all of that information. You know, the 600,000 this and the 2 million that and the this and the that. So what Mike is saying is get really, really passionate and excited about one thing that you are excited about. Because when you're excited, what happens to your energy? Who does it rub off on? Who gets excited with you? And when you have 3, 4, 5 people get as excited as you, you know they're going to take action.
Did we all get that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, so when you finish speaking about the solution, right, there's something we call urgency. Can we all repeat that? Urgency. Excellent. Right, urgency is the hammer home. Urgency is when you let the donor believe that something has to be done today. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So urgency has to be a time-related problem. Okay? Means, as we're speaking right now, something bad is happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So urgency is something like, as we're speaking right now, there is 1.1 billion people without access to water, which means that every single second of this conversation, there are lives being lost because of water-related diseases. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's horrendous. Would you agree? And would you agree that something's got to be done right now?
Yeah.
Exactly. These are the questions you're asking the donor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're engaging them and you're building them up to the ask. So you're carrying them along with you all throughout the journey. They're with you and they understand exactly what you mean and exactly what you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So what you now do is you don't jump into the solution, into the ask straight away. I have what I call the donor as a solution. What that means, you've got to make the donor feel special and you've got to make them feel like they are the change that we've been waiting for. And they're not just a bank account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not about you wanting just their money, is about you wanting them to be part of something big. Yeah? So, basically, there's a statement that I've got here for you. So, I normally use things like, we're looking for lovely people like you to be part of this change of fixing the planet and giving every life in every community an opportunity to live life at the fullest. Does that sound like a good thing? Does that sound like a good thing? I'll repeat that. Yeah? We're looking for lovely people like you to be part of this amazing change, to give every life in every community a chance to live life at the fullest. Does that sound like something good? Exactly. Right. What does that do to the donor? It makes the donor start to feel like they have to do something. Does that make sense? Now you're about to ask for the money. Yeah? Now we want the money, don't we? Ka-ching, we want the money. Yeah? Okay. Right, so when you get to the money, listen carefully. Are we listening? Okay. When you get to the money, you should not hesitate to ask for the money. You should not apologize for asking for the money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know why? You should not be concerned about how the donor feels. You should be concerned about the number of lives that could be lost if you don't get the money. That should be in your head. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the problem is the people that may potentially lose their lives if Amira doesn't ask for money. So Amira, if you don't ask for money, what would happen? Exactly. Okay? So what you now say to the donor is this. Listen carefully. A lot of people that I speak to, they donate X amount every month. Are we listening to that?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you haven't spoken to anybody. All right? Because the donor doesn't know that. Okay? A lot of people that I speak to, they donate X amount. Let's say £10. They donate £10 every month for WWF to do X, Y, and Z. Right? So let's say $30, right? A lot of people I speak to donate $30 a month, which helps us to do X, Y, Z. And I'm hoping that you're going to match that today as well. Does that make sense? So, there's a big question I'm about to ask you. Are you ready to answer this?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You sure? You're very sure?
Yeah.
So, the big question is, can I count on your support today?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. The whole point in getting money is this. Is you have to prompt people. You don't beg. You don't ask like they're doing a favor. You have to prompt them. You've got to be assertive. All right? I'll give you another example. You say to people, what I would like you to do right now is to donate $30 a month. And I'll tell you why I need you to do that. Because with $30 a month, we can provide 2.4 billion people access to clean water. Does that sound like something amazing?
Yeah.
So let's get you started today. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Right, if you're watching an advert on television, right? You're watching an advert on Nike Air Trainers, Nike shoes, yeah? Have you ever seen anyone beg you to go to the shop and buy Nike trainers? Do they beg you? Do they say, oh, please go to the sports shop and buy your Nike trainers? Do they say that? So what do they say? They tell you, get your Nikes today. Yes or no? Yeah?
Yeah.
Exactly. When you're asking for money, you don't ask people these questions. Avoid these questions. Would you like to help? You know why? Hello? These are the questions, these are the ask questions you need to avoid. Would you like to help? Is it something you can do for us? Can somebody tell me why you don't ask those questions?
And come to the mic.
And come to the mic. Can somebody tell me why you don't ask those questions?
It gives them the opportunity to say no.
Come to the mic.
Fear of saying it gives them the opportunity to say no.
Exactly. So those kind of questions, you need to avoid it completely. You need to get people on board by drawing them into what you're about. You know why? As a fundraiser, there's two things you do every day you go out. Should I tell you what they are? Would you like to know?
Yeah.
Right. The first thing you do, right, is to change people's perception of the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A lot of people you're going to be speaking to, they don't see the world the way you see it. Okay? So you change their perception of the world. And the second thing you do to that person is you empower them. Does that make sense? You let them know there's a difference that WWF has been waiting for. WWF has been waiting for you all this time. And today is the day that we get your support. Does that make sense? You have to use words that prompt people to do it today. Not words that give people the room to give you excuses. Don't start something that you're not sure of. If you know that you're not going to close it well, then don't even, it's just a waste of time really. If you start a long pitch and then you don't close well, you've just wasted your time. So always make sure you don't ask yes or no questions in the art. Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like a pitch? I don't know anything about your charity, but would you like a pitch? I don't know much about it, but I'm going to try. Is that okay? You're going to have to promise to tell me the truth whether you're going to sign up. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Hello, ladies. Hello. Hi. Hello, right. So, how are we all doing today? Oh, you all look amazing. It's a nice day, isn't it? I'm having a great time on the streets today. I'm talking to amazing people like you ladies over there. So, are you really nice people?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Let me not waste too much of your time, because I know you got so much shopping to do today. Are we all going shopping, yeah? You're not? Okay. Anyway, my name is Michael, yeah? And I'm working on behalf of WWF. Do you know what that means? WWF, not World Wrestling Federation. Okay? It actually stands for World Wildlife Fund for Nature. All right? Okay, have you heard anything about us before now? No. Right, can I ask you a quick question, if that's okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Saving the planet, okay, from further disaster. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Sorry? It's a good thing, right? Why do you say it's a good thing, man, if I may ask? So you agree that what WWF stands for and represents is a good thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. The reason why I'm here today, I'm happy you agree with me that the work we do is absolutely amazing. The reason why I'm here today is there's a major concern that I have in my heart. Okay? Presently, I don't know if you're aware, 2.4 billion people around the world, just like you and me, have no access to clean water. That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really bad, yeah? Do you agree that every human being needs water? How long do you think you would survive without water? Not very long. Not very long. I'm happy you say that, because the news I bring to you today is the fact that WWF understands the need for every human being to have access to clean water. That's why in the area of their work, in terms of pollution of the environment, WWF is presently encouraging local conservation and environmental awareness. That is an amazing thing, would you agree?
Yeah.
Right, the reason why we want to address this issue so promptly, is because as we're speaking right now, there are lives being lost to water-related diseases. That's horrific, would you agree? So what we're looking for today is amazing people like you ladies, right, to be part of this great movement to completely eradicate these problems, which we can resolve as a people by giving every life in every community the opportunity to live life at its fullest. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy you're with me on this journey. So what I'd like you to do today, just like everyone I've spoken to who donated $30 a month to help us carry on the good work we do, I'm hoping today that you can match it the same. Can I count on your support?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you very sure?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know anything about WWF. I'm just giving you a structure. You can use the structure for anything you want to sell. Whether you want to sell stones, or you want to sell stand, or you want to sell chocolate bars, it all works the same way. So I wish you all the best. And if you need me, I'm still here with Rich. If you have any questions, I would answer them.
So, thank you guys. I just wanted to check that, because I know we've spent quite a long time together, and I'm really grateful for your time. And hopefully you've got something out of that and managed to pick a few golden nuggets. I'm not sure how much time you have on your side, but we're more than happy to answer any questions you might have about what Mike was sharing with you today, or anything really that you feel you need a bit more guidance and advice on.
Should come close to the camera.
So if anybody wants to speak, we just need to see you close up to the...
What do you do when they say they can't afford it a lot? I find a lot of people want to do it, but they don't. Yeah.
Just somebody said you have to drop it down to 25. Let's comment on that too.
Okay. So, right, so they can't afford to donate $30. Is that right? Do you wanna come close so we can? Do you wanna come? Right. So they can't afford to donate $30. Is that right?
Yeah, or less than that. Like if I were to say like $20, they might say like I appreciate what you're doing, but my financial like situation doesn't let me do that.
Right. The one important thing about responding to objection is you have to first empathize with them. Okay? You have to empathize with them with something like, oh, I completely understand, what you're saying, because everyone, everyone is going through financial strain at the moment, and then the next thing you do is you become creative. And creativity is all about breaking down the amount into smaller chunks so they can see that they can afford it. Okay, so I'll give you an example. If you told me you couldn't afford it, I'll say something like, oh, I completely understand what you're saying, man. I do respect that, and I do understand how hard it is these days to meet our daily needs, But what we've looked at today is we've seen how difficult it might be for people to afford $30. But can I just say, that's literally $1 a day. And the reason why we put it at $1 a day is because I've realized that if you give me $1 and you told me to run to the superstore, there's only so much I can buy. But with that $1 a day, what we can potentially do is then you name one of the things that WWF does and say we can do this and do that. Do you think that, is worth that dollar a day is worth giving life and hope back to communities that have been stripped of their natural resources? Do you think $1 a day is worth giving for that to happen?
Okay.
Yeah, and then you bring it back to the charity and say, with that dollar a day, not only are we going to be able to provide clean water in 50 countries or 100 countries, but also we can save the lives of animals that are endangered. You come up with different things you do, and then you can say, right, and if I remember correctly, at the start of the conversation, you agreed with me that our work is good and what we're doing is the right thing to do. Do you still hold that view?
Okay, yeah.
So let's get you involved. Don't worry about it. Give us never lack. So let's get you started today.
So one thing I just wanted to add to that, when I noticed a lot of or some of your presentations at the end, when Mike said, I don't think I can afford it, I think a couple of you very quickly went into oh, well, it's okay, you don't have to give 30, you can give 25. So you became part of their problem. In your mind, the problem of lack started with you. And what you should do as a fundraiser is never take on the donor's problem. Because often it isn't a massive issue. It's their automatic response to a $30 ask. It's not that they can't afford it, it's that they don't see the value. So make sure in your mind and in your heart, you're not devaluing the very thing that you're out there doing. Because if you believe them when they say they can't afford it, you might as well pack up and go home. And the minute you respond to that objection, shows the donor that you believe that they can't afford it. Now, who can't afford in Canada $1 a day? Most people throw it away on crap like cigarettes and booze and whatever. Nearly every single person who is working or has a job or has an income in some way can afford $1 a day. So when you go out on the street, you make sure you damn well believe that every person you speak to can afford it, and you're not going to accept that for an answer. But you're not going to be aggressive about it either. So you're not going to make them wrong for saying what they said. Because all they're saying to you is, help, I need some more information to help me understand the real value of the $30 that I work so hard. Because $30 represents time for people. Yeah, and when they see that time, what they're giving up is time for money. So that $30 is earned by them, and they need to demonstrate that what they're doing, that you value them so much, and they can value what the work of WWF is so much so that the $30 becomes insignificant, and the will to want to help becomes more significant. So make sure in your response to that objection, you do not go straight down to the next level. And sometimes the response, after you've understood and helped them get the value, your response could be, after you've left enough time and pause, remember to pause, by the way, and give the donor space. Because sometimes what comes out of their mouth isn't actually going on in their head. They actually speak faster than they think. So by you pausing at the critical point, you're giving them an opportunity to assess and realize absolutely everything you said. And what happens is there's an exchange of energy now between you and the donor. And the very energy you give off at that point can determine the rest of that conversation. So if the energy you're giving off is I believe them when they say they can't afford it, well, I'm sorry, you probably lost that conversation. So the energy you need to give off is, I totally believe you can afford this. Do you know what the next question you ask after you've paused and there's nowhere else to go? You say, well, look, so many people want to jump on board with WWF. They absolutely love what we're doing out here today. And they're so excited about the work that we're doing and appreciate how quickly we need to get on board with this. So let me just ask you this. How much do you feel you can afford? That way you're putting the responsibility back on them. You're not taking responsibility for the affordability. Are there any more questions?
Do you have any tips for making people stop on the street? Like stop and talk to you? Like before you even start pitching them?
Over the years, right, one thing I've found with stopping people has a lot to do with your personality. You see, you have to bring to the street what is not present on the street. Does that make sense? Right, say for instance, you're waiting for a positive response from people. You have to first give that you have to give that positive energy. And I explained that to you. A lot of fundraisers always go out to get. Hello? We always go out to get. We want to get money. We want to get people. We want to get donations. But what you need to start doing is you need to go out to give. Alright? And what are you giving? You're giving good energy. Like you see someone who's been at work all day and you're out there on the street. Hello, hi. You're giving positive energy. People are attracted to your personality. So it's all about your presence. If you're not getting the response you have that you want, you need to up your game a bit. It means I need to present myself a bit more energetic. I need to present myself a bit more cheerful for people to actually be drawn to my nature. It's all about you. Stopping is about the air you give off. If you give off a positive energy, people will be drawn to you. Watch these two fundraisers on the streets. Hi. Hello. Can I have a minute? That's fundraiser number one. Now, fundraiser number two. Hello there, how are you today? Come talk to me. Who would you go to, one or two? What, sorry? Why would you go to two? Why would you go to number two?
We're excited by you, like you're exciting us.
Just like you did.
You know what I mean?
I like the way you gave the pitch. I like the energy. That's what works. It's all about you knowing that you have all you need to get the donor to completely trust you and to completely believe every word that comes out of your mouth. You need to build trust from the very moment that you stop to speak anyone. You need to build trust. You can't just load them with information. Hello, my name is Michael. I work on behalf of WWF. Basically, have you heard of global warming? Global warming is happening all over the world. We're burning fossil fuels in the air. We have CO2 carbon monoxide emission all over the place. And what we're trying to do is to change that. Would you like to help? Would you like to help?
Leave me alone. I'm busy. I just finished work and I hate my job.
That's the whole point. You need to use your personality. If you know how to, crack some good jokes, you need to liven people up a bit. You need to make them feel comfortable around you. You need to make them feel like they don't want to go home because they met you and they want to talk to you. That's the whole point. So to stop someone, you need to bring out positive energy, good aura, and you need to always smile. I know it's tiring. I smile from dusk till dawn. I smile from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Hi, hello, hi. You have to smile because you're drawing people to you. And that is the secret of stopping. There's no other secret to stopping. There's no magic potion. You got to use yourself. You're the magic potion. Do you believe that you're amazing enough to stop people? No, I don't think so. Do you believe that you're amazing enough to stop people?
Yeah!
Good. Now you're talking. See, you got to know, you got to believe it. All right? Any other questions?
Well, yeah. So one last thing. I'm sure just like everybody else that we spoke to today, you're able to help us as well, correct?
Yeah. So what is it? What did it say?
He just closed you.
Did it? All right. So, one thing that I know always, one last thing, when you asked if they can afford to give, always ask them something very simple. If they have a prized possession left to them by their parents, would they insure it? And how much would they pay to insure it? The reason is $1 a day is ensuring the environment to make sure that our kids and our kids' kids, they have a place they can call home when they grow older. Does that make sense? So $1 a day is making sure that our kids and kids' kids have a place to call home. The environment is our home and we need to look after it. So $1 a day is making sure that that happens. And our kids don't have to suffer the consequences of our own actions. Does that make sense? Excellent.
Thank you, guys. It's been an amazing afternoon for us, morning for you. We really want to hear how you got on with some of the tools and tips you got from today's session. Normally what we would do is we'd do a round robin and just check what you got out of it and what are the things that you're going to use out of today to work on. But I think it's fair to say that there's been a lot there, and I think you need to digest that and really think about the top key things that you want to take away. So typically what we get our fundraisers to do here is that every session is to bring back a notebook and a pen. Because often there'll be one or two things that you got out of it that later on in the day, you'll go, oh my gosh, what was it Mike said? I forgot. I should have written that down. So we'd love to do another session with you sometime. Let us know when, and please let us know how you guys get on with the feedback that you got on today. Have an awesome day. Daniel, thanks for sorting this out. Sandy, hello. Great. Good to see you.
Yeah, I think this is the beginning. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm critical. I will be having a lot of that conviction you need as an urgency. So it's you right now. Stop all that. Okay. We're going to let it. So I think this is. I don't think thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Have an awesome.
We have brought that from our wall and so I'm just Now, a quick photo of everyone, how often you get to do it. So that's it, and then I'll take it through and practice. The next
This is almost fantastic.
Thank you.
What did you say? What's
Like it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Take care. Have an awesome day. Bye. Is that us gone?